Federal NDP leader Jagmeet Singh stopped in Peterborough, Ontario to support provincial NDP candidate Jen Deck, who, by the way, is an educator and appears to be a pretty good candidate. And while leaving, Singh received a hate-filled goodbye from far-right extremists. So I'm going to play this insane video for you, and then I'll get to Jagmeet Singh's reaction, including as well some other things about Peterborough, Ontario, and how this is fairly normal, unfortunately, for that area. But first here's the video, and you're also going to see at the beginning of this a couple of the organizers of this, I guess, so-called protest.
We need to get down and let Jagmeet Singh know that he's not welcome here and that Peterborough stands up for itself and the people of Peterborough are proud Canadians, and we will absolutely not put up with his liberal agenda, his liberal coalition. So now's your chance.
We're not going to be silenced.
Yep.
We have a right to go down there, obviously not cause a disruptance or, be rude or inappropriate in any way.
Turn your back on the people! I have children, you will not touch them! He's a good man.
Go fuck yourself. Look at you, fucking dude. You lying piece of shit. You're a piece of shit. Talk shit about us freedom-loving Canadians. You fucking traitor. You're a fucking traitor. You're a fucking traitor. You're a fucking traitor to this country. Fuck you. You fucking freedom convoy. Go fuck yourself. Fuck yourself.
Wow. What a nice group of people. To go from saying that we will not cause a disruptance or be rude or inappropriate in any way to you lying piece of shit, go F yourself, I have children and you will not touch them. One lady was yelling that like 3 or 4 times. Get help. Someone else saying you're an effing traitor. This is the leader of the 4th place party in Canada. Like, what's he doing? One of their issues, I guess, is that he believes in science, believes in the vaccines that have definitely reduced deaths from COVID-19. He recently signed a confidence and supply agreement with Trudeau that they're calling a coalition. It's not a coalition, or they're calling they're dictators now. Trudeau and Jagmeet Singh, dictators. There's many confidence and supply agreements in Canada's history. Look this up. It's very normal. It's a parliamentary system. This is how things operate. But of course, data, facts, science, history means nothing when these people purely work on emotion. Look at how angry they are at him over nothing, over whatever they made up in their minds. And I'm sure, of course, a part of this as well is the fact that he's a visible minority, a Sikh man. I'm sure that triggers a lot of these people as well. But let me get to some reactions first online. So Dean Blundell, who has been very outspoken against these so-called freedom people, freedom convoy, tweeted out this saying, "Would you let these people babysit your kids? Seriously, think about that for a second after you watch this." Going on to say, "That's how you judge a person. Do I trust this person with my kids? Try it sometime. Those pesky alternative opinions turn into hate speech real quick." I think this is a great point. If you have kids and for some reason you can't decide how to feel about this, I feel like it should be pretty clear to most people how to feel about this video here. But if you're having trouble, would you let these people take care of your children? Yeah. Also, some comments here that I guess were posted on the video at the time. So Johnny Fondue, from what I understand, is does a good job covering this area and this kind of garbage. So he tweeted out some screenshots here of the comments. People calling or saying, so Holdfast is one of the groups I believe that organized this. They're saying or tyrants, traitor, communist, open the door. What message are they hiding? We are constituents. We are voters. The election is all fraud already. This election is dividing Ontarians. Voters aren't privileged to hear a platform. This is fraud. Canada has fallen. Ontario has fallen. Okay. Just to give you the mindset of, how well these people are mentally. Now, a day later, in Ottawa, Singh said the incident reflects a worsening trend of aggression and polarization in Canadian politics. Quote, there were folks that were saying some really horrible things. Some folks were saying, I hope you die, and things of that nature. He told a news conference when asked about the incident. Quote, we should be able to disagree as a society respectfully, maybe even angrily, but it doesn't have to come to the point where it's getting so polarized that people's safety is at risk. Singh said he has gotten used to dealing with aggressive behavior in public, but conceded that the verbal abuse he received in Peterborough would rank among the worst experiences. So we'll get to more on Peterborough in a minute here and their history with this issue. But he also released a full statement here saying, thank you to everyone that has reached out to me after yesterday's incident in Peterborough. To those that have asked, I'm in Chardi Kala, Rising Spirits. I want to especially say to the people of Peterborough, I have visited many times and I know your community is filled with good people who want the best for each other. Sadly, polarization and disinformation are real dangers to our society. While disagreements are fundamental to a thriving democracy, hatred, violence, and wishing death upon others threaten it. Politicians must remember the consequences when they stoke fear and division. When hate is given space to grow, it spreads like wildfire. That is why we must always confront it, giving it no space to take hold, no room to grow. Peterborough, I love you. Don't worry, I'll be back. So he is not moved. He will be back in Peterborough. And I just got to say, on Jagmeet Singh, in that video here, like his response, his reaction to this, he's nothing but a class act. And at the same time, we also shouldn't have to expect that. People that are the victims of this sort of verbal abuse shouldn't be expected to just sit back and take it with a smile. But I think he views himself, he's discussed this before because of course he's been the victim of a lot of this verbal abuse. He's discussed how he sees himself as, you know, a political leader and he feels the need to sort of lead by some kind of example. And that's what he does. So good on him for doing that. But again, we shouldn't expect people that are victims of this kind of abuse to just simply take it. Now, Peterborough police came out afterwards saying they weren't aware NDP leader Jagmeet Singh was in Peterborough. Since learning of the event, officers reached out to Mr. Singh to discuss as there were no calls for service. It's disheartening to hear. As we know, most residents are respectful and these few are not reflective of our community. So look, I think it's good that the police came out and said something about this. And I'm going to have to assume if Jagmeet Singh shows up next time, or when he shows up next time, that they're going to be there to you know, try and maybe keep the peace. Now, let's get to Peterborough. So this is normal for Peterborough. Peterborough area hate crime rate in 2020, highest of Canada's census metropolitan areas. So looking at the data here, the next closest is Ottawa, and really they're not even all that close. Peterborough is well out in front here, saying the police reported hate crime in 2020. The report states the Peterborough region had 19.4 hate crimes per 100,000 population. So that is striking, and it shows you that this is not simply an isolated incident. That said, of course, you know, the vast majority of people in any area, they're not like this. But comparing Peterborough to other Canadian cities, this is the most normal for them, for them to experience something like this. And it's something that really needs to be addressed. Now, this isn't the first time, as I was saying, Blog to Your Rights here, isn't the first time the so-called Freedom Crowd has put a negative spotlight on Peterborough with past events, including a 2-week-long far-right demonstration at Peterborough's Peter Burger's restaurant. And they were also part of organizing this protest as well. Now, last thing here, if you want to see more video from what happened, Johnny Fondue, again, a great resource here. I'll link to this below the video under sources on YouTube. There's just more before and after of that video. And I don't know what else to say. I mean, this is unfortunately becoming all too normal. If there was an easy solution here to stop this from happening, then I would give it to you. But I don't know what it is. These people just don't live in reality. I mean, Jagmeet Singh has a long history of fighting for the working class, trying to raise wages, tax the wealthy, cares about addressing the climate crisis, cares about, you know, the working class, cares about people. That's why he is leading the NDP. Now, my only criticism of them is that they don't go far enough, they don't fight hard enough. But in terms of, you know, the major parties, They're the only ones trying to do anything. So it's just these people clearly are more working class, I would assume, for the most part. So to direct their hatred at someone trying to fight for them, again, shows you that they just do not know what the hell is going on. So in terms of how to address this hatred, I don't know. But it's something that, at the very least, we need to spotlight.